Awesome. Happy to get started here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Gonna stop the music. All right. Hey, welcome, everybody. We are going to kick the call off here. So I see some friendly faces, some new faces. Welcome, everybody. We try and do a community call like this every week. And yeah, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day for us. So just a couple announcements up front. You may have noticed we have a new team in the Discord. So at team-dev is a new thing. So there was an announcement about this, but just wanted to call it out again. If you go to the Manage Roles channel, which is in Special Channels, you can add this little Space Invader and join Team Dev. And that way you can get notified when we're having discussions about development stuff, things to do with the core code base. So we were jealous of the 60 people strong docs team, so we added one of those. So definitely join that if you're interested. Everyone is welcome. Yeah, on to the next thing. So this week we're switching up the format a little bit. We are basically going to move the issue triage to a separate call. So that's kind of been something we have chatted about in the past on this call. If there are any RFCs, we'll still bring those up. But for the purposes of this call, P2 to be discussed. Those are pretty technical deep dives, so we certainly don't need to waste everyone's time with that here. Yes, great call out, Peter, on the support squad as well. Everyone is welcome there as well. So yeah, by moving this out, we're going to make some more space for, just fun stuff happening in the ecosystem. Some bigger projects like docs. Every once in a while the core team might have something fun to share, demo. So we're going to start trying that out this week with Tony and Sarah showing off some stuff they've been working on. Awesome. It has been a super busy week over here. So this was 2 hours before this call, so this is already out of date. But we've merged 54 PRs and done 22 releases. I think that number is probably much higher at this point in just the past few hours. So that's 23 authors, 91 commits to main, 234 commits to all branches. So just thought this was super cool. I think you should all have access to see this. If you ever end up on the main repo, there's this Insights tab. And you might not get all this info, but I think you can see it. So if you're ever curious, you can go check that out. It's been very busy. Awesome. Wanted to shout out some stuff happening in the community. So Randall, who I believe is here, and Peter have been working on open SSF compliance. So that's awesome. This will get us up to a passing grade in this audit. So really excited to keep pushing this forward. There's some great stuff in here just for community health, security, things like that. So I wanted to thank you both for your work on that. That's going to be really great. Awesome. I wanted to extend an invitation. We have some, thanks for the link, Tony, in the chat there. So we have some RFCs open right now. We've got 210, 212, 215. So this is Tane opened an RFC about Astro.extend, similar to like jQuery plugins. So I haven't seen any comments on this. It'd be great to get some early feedback on that so we can discuss it. Okiki had an RFC about updating client visible to actually take into account visibility. So that would be pretty awesome. So definitely take a look at that as well. And then Fred had one that might be controversial, but I definitely wanted folks to take a look at this. So right now we have kind of weird behavior where you import styles in your front matter. And that's due to some Vite limitations that have been difficult for us to work around. But this would kind of push us to use the source attribute on a style tag, very similar to how Vue does it, actually. And it works similarly to our script support. So that would be pretty cool. Definitely take a look. We can discuss that in the future, though, because it was just opened like 24 hours ago. So not many folks have looked at it yet. Definitely leave some feedback.
I'm really interested in this particular proposal. As you can see why the controversy behind it is like... yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Understandably,
for sure.
You know, it's good to see this because this will be a great way for people to import their styles into their projects, just an easier level of abstraction for them. So yeah, totally welcome this particular proposal.
Yep. Totally. Appreciate that. Yeah, TC mentioned, resolve source. We have, I believe we accepted the local source RFC. It has not been implemented, so this would be kind of another option just for styles. So definitely curious to chat about this next week, probably. But just wanted to kind of open it up, let people know. Awesome. So yeah, we have this new community health files repo. So I don't know if you've ever seen this, but GitHub has one. You can basically create this cool .github repository, and there's even a tutorial linked here. And you can do all sorts of cool stuff with this. So like code of conduct, funding, security, support, all that stuff. Issue, like default issue and pull request templates can all go here. There's also this profile directory, and we can put a README here. And then this displays on our organization. So definitely wanted to call this out. There's not much here at the moment, but if anybody is interested in contributing, making this a bit more fun and interesting, definitely would welcome some PRs to spruce this up. So yeah, if you're looking to get involved, that's a fun way to do it.
It is a cool feature of GitHub. I'd never seen that before until actually we like brought it up for centralizing our like community rules and that kind of stuff. That's very cool.
Yes. Oh yeah, there's another. Totally. Yeah, there's another great feature about this, which is that you can put files in this repo. Let me find it. GitHub. So if you have like code of conduct, security, things like that here, they will show up here. So you can actually see on our issues. I'll just open up this one, but you'll see there's like there should be a support thing. I saw this yesterday. Maybe it's when you're opening an issue. That's it. Okay. When you're opening an issue, it says like, hey, here's our code of conduct, security policy, and then if you click on support, this is actually going to take you to this .github repo. And then we'll kind of send people over to Discord to chat, which is great. So yeah, there's some cool stuff you can do with this. If you run your own organization on GitHub, definitely check it out. Awesome. Wanted to move on to some exciting stuff going on in the community. I have some news to start. The Astro.js/MDX package is in progress right now. So hoping to get this out there this week sometime. It will basically add support for genuine MDX pages. So really excited about this. It'll basically be a way to opt into, if you are having trouble with our components and markdown support, something like that, .mdx page, which has, a syntax that's very well defined. There were some technical reasons that this has been a really long time coming, and it was very difficult for us to do, but we finally found a way. So looking to get this totally opt-in. If you have an existing project with MDX pages, this should be really easy to convert. So that's really exciting. So this is on its way. Just wanted to give you a heads up. It's totally opt-in for now. And our current components in Markdown support, there's no plans to make everybody migrate right now. So just wanted to give you a heads up. This will be really exciting. So yeah. And then Chris, I don't know if you want to talk about Preact Compat really quickly.
Sure.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I think, did I just drop the link? And if anyone wants to check it, I put a link to the video. Maybe you want to pull that up if you want on the screen. I mean, it's not super exciting, but it just shows stuff. So for those of you who don't know, Preact is obviously very close to React in terms of its API, and one of its core features has always been that you can, in theory at least, render React components, but using Preact, which is a much smaller library. So basically, you can kind of use the React ecosystem, but get a smaller bundle size by using this thing called Preact Compat, which used to be supported in Astro and got lost in the great integrations shuffle of 2022. And hopefully, actually, it looks, I think I just seen CI go completely green in another tab, and my local tests seem to work. Nate has done some amazing work on this. In theory, all you need to do is set this compat true option in your integrations, and you can render a React component, you can render a Preact component, you can render a Preact component which imports and uses a React component, and you don't need to have the React integration anymore. So hopefully that's a little performance gain, and let's see how it works. I'm really excited about it.
Totally. So yeah, super exciting. You would basically just set compat to be true and get full support. So I think we would be one of the first tools that makes it that easy, which is very exciting. So thank you so much for working on that, Chris. Excellent. Cool. Like I mentioned, we wanted to give some more space for demos, chatting about updates and stuff. So I wanted to give Tony some time to chat about some of his most recent experiments. So super excited about that. Tony, do you mind if I hand it over to you?
Please do, and I'll go ahead and share my screen if you want to get a demo for the prefetch.
Excellent. Go for it.
see. It's always a guessing game if Discord's going to allow me to actually share.
Not seeing anything yet. There we go.
You have my browser window?
Still loading for me.
Okay.
Is it loading for everyone? It might be stuck on loading.
Okay, let me just...
It is for me.
Yeah.
It is not letting me share. If this doesn't work, I will just talk through it. Maybe I'll send you the link where you could pull up, Nate.
Yeah, why don't you do that? That would be awesome.
It seems as though it's an OS X permissions fight.
Yep, that could do it.
It does that a lot.
Yeah, send me a link and I'll be happy to share my screen. Cool.
All right. So we'll start at the NPM package because the docs are pretty decent on it. I actually followed the new documentation guide we're using for our integrations, which was really handy to have. And then we'll pull up the themes page as well because it'll actually give us a demo. We can see it going in the network.
Oh, nice.
So the background behind this, it's a lot like QuickLink, if anybody's used that, where the goal is on a static site, you've got 30 different HTML pages. You don't want the user to have to actually wait for that to load until they actually click on a link. Ideally, you have kind of like a little clever script running that will preload those when they might be clicking on it. Some projects have that built in. So like with SvelteKit, whenever you hover over a link, it will try to prefetch it in the background. They're already doing client-side routing, so it's kind of a really specific use case for them. What we wanted to do here was try out how this would work with Astro, and it's really helpful if you're not using a client-side router, so that page navigations are still really, really quick. One extra kind of tweak I put in here when I was testing it with our own astro.build site, it's actually going to preload style sheets as well. So it doesn't just fetch the HTML and cache it, actually make sure the styles that page is going to use are cached as well, which helps speed up that transition. The API for it is really, really simple. You probably don't need to change the defaults. Basically on any anchor link, all you need to do is put rel equals prefetch. And the integration adds a script to the page that's about a kilobyte when it's all minified and gzipped. Rel equals prefetch will get checked on every page that loads by that script. And the script is actually doing a little bit of trickery with an intersection observer and request idle callback. And there's even a throttle built in. So it finds any of the prefetched links on your page and it kind of holds on to them. And once they show up visibly on screen, it'll start preloading them so that if the user clicks the link, it's already cached in the browser. It throttles it so it doesn't try to load 40 pages at once. It defaults to just using one. You can actually change that if you want to load 3 at a time, 4 at a time. You could change that number around. And the other thing that's in here that really only helps Chrome right now, but Chrome has an experimental API for checking like what kind of network connection you're on. So if you're on a 2G network or if you have data saver mode turned on, this actually just won't run. It won't try to prefetch things if it's a bad network connection, basically.
Nice. That's super cool.
Yeah, I just added this morning. It got published this morning, and I added it to astro.build because we actually already had a preload script that was doing most of this, but in a little more like specific to our use case. So this is the page that uses it, and I had a script on here that just found all of our internal links on the page, and it would do this same prefetching model. It wasn't throttling, and it was doing any link it found on the page. So that's kind of nice, but it wasn't really opt-in at all. And I really just wanted those collections links to do the trick. It was as simple as ripping out the old preload script I had and Astro add prefetch. That's really all it took. I left the defaults as is. And if you load up the network tab in the dev tools,
Yep.
so filter it down to just show HTML or just the doc requests.
Perfect.
Reload the page.
Yeah.
And should see. So once the browser goes idle, where did it go? Oh, maybe it shows as fetch. It's probably going to show here as fetch. Firefox does it a little differently. So try filtering it to /themes. And all the style sheets. There's a bunch of requests in there. It's got to be doing it.
Yeah, is this
so like /blog and then dashboard, and it's finding its style sheets.
Nice.
So it's basically what it's doing here is finding those collection links, which I tagged with rel equals prefetch. And once the browser goes idle, it's loading those one at a time. And they're cached, so as you're clicking through tabs, everything's just ready for you. It's not loading like the images for each card. It's not spending time doing that, but the page and the styles are all ready to go for the browser.
Nice.
Which gives it this really cool kind of, it feels like you're doing client-side routing, switching between these tabs, but you're not. It's actually separate HTML pages.
Is this not still using the spa thing?
I
don't see any loading.
It might be. Yes, this one is. This specific one is. So we have micromorph tied in on this page, actually, right? I forgot that wasn't part of the preload script. And the scrolling isn't jumping, so it's cheating a little bit here more with extra features.
Still very snappy and fast.
Yeah. And if you pull up that network tab again, there's actually one fun little thing. You're in Brave. Set the network connection. Like, do you have the throttle option on here?
Yes.
Put it at like a fast 3G, just so we don't trip the slow network connection guards. And you should be able to see it basically kind of one at a time. That's where it's throttling so it doesn't overload the browser.
Nice.
Yep.
And then if I set it to, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. But if I were on slow, it would not do this.
Right. I think slow might be. It's only checking for 2G or for data saver mode. Those kind of features in dev tools, I never know how well they're actually going to demo in dev tools, because sometimes it gets ignored when you just change it as like a simulator option for like the navigator connection APIs.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. The idea here too is this is kind of experimental, so this could really be a nice feature to have built into Astro Core, so you don't even have to pull an integration into it. And this will let us kind of experiment with it, a few different approaches, like see how it works in the real world, and then like go from there. How it could work in Core, where we have things like knowing what the next page's assets are going to be.
Totally. Yeah, that's super exciting. So, how can people try this out if they want to give us feedback?
All you got to do is Astro add prefetch. That is the simple solution to adding this. That'll set it up with all the defaults, and any pages any links that you want to get prefetched. Find that anchor tag wherever you're building it in your templates and just drop a rel equals prefetch. Nice. It also handles if you have like a rel equals no follow. For some reason, if you want to prefetch it but not using no follow, all that's handled. You just need that prefetch on there and it'll find it.
That's amazing. Cool. Thank you so much, Tony. I think you had one more thing, right?
I did, yes. Thank you for sharing the screen on that one. The images integration. This, I didn't even know if it would make sense for us to have an integration, because we don't want the maintenance cost of like a full images library. And we really want to work with all of the different image tools that are out there instead of like trying to fight them and say, oh, you should use Astro's solution. We'll get more into this one maybe next week, so I'll just kind of tease it a little bit. This will almost be like an integration API on top of our integration API. It's kind of this like pluggable layer. So you could come in here and for example, Cloudinary could actually make their own tool that ties into this and basically just makes it easy to build Cloudinary image transform URLs, right? They do it all just through the URL that you're requesting. But this has full SSR support and SSG support, works in dev and build. And the real benefit of that is Cloudinary or like Astro image tools. I think we're going to be able to actually tie into this. And it takes all of the complexity of like our integrations API. How do you deal with SSR? What kind do you need to make your own like Vite plugin to handle some of this at build time? This integration does all of that so that image tools can actually just focus on being an image tool and not having to deal with all that crazy build nonsense.
Nice. So yeah, it provides like a normalized interface for image transforms, and that's basically all you have to do.
Yep.
That is amazing. And the idea is this would have the image component that all those would plug into. Nice.
Exactly. It's going to expose kind of the lower level that just grabs the attributes that you put on an image tag if you really needed that. Mm-hmm. But in most cases, you really just use this image component we provide. And a lot of libraries like Astro image tools, it would make a lot of sense for them to have their own image component or their own picture component that internally might be using this, but they're adding a whole bunch of really cool transform features that we're never going to build into ours. Like, we're not going to pick up the maintenance cost of that, and they're doing such a good job with it. We just want to make the build steps easier.
Nice. Yeah, I know that's a huge pain when people go to deploy stuff, like, oh, Sharp is not working, all that fun native binding fun for cell, things like that.
Right. Yeah, ours comes out of the box with a small Sharp image transformer, but it'll be really cool to be able to like swap that out with Squoosh, and you could get Dino support.
Cool. Well, this sounds amazing. I'm really excited to watch this PR and keep up. Maybe we can chat about this a bit more next week.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get this merged in this week. I'm chasing down some Windows test issues at the moment, but
always fun.
It is.
Sweet. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing some really awesome stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Nate.
Of course. Cool. I think Sarah had some stuff to chat about with the docs as well. And then after that, we can just kind of open it up. If anybody else has anything they want to share, certainly can make some room for that. So, Sarah, would you like me to share my screen, or do you want to share yours?
Yes, if we could use your screen, that would work, because my Chromebook wasn't really cooperative yesterday, so let's not push it.
All right.
So what I'm going to do, before you even go to the docs, I'm just sticking an older preview link in here, because I am showing off what we did last week. Chris did a ton of this, which is our old deploy page. So I'd been going through the docs page by page for freshness. I mean, you guys keep putting out features. I keep needing to change all the pages. This page was my white whale. This was the one I kept putting off, and you can probably see why. It's a bit of a pain just even to deal with as a single page. So we spent a couple weeks. We spent many calls, and Chris and I now have a solution that we like, or as in docs we say, not worse than what we had before. As is sometimes the best that you can hope for. So now if you go to our deploy site in Astro, it looks like a real website.
Nice.
So it and Chris has an amazing little filter there for our guides, depending on the type of deploy you want to take. Some of the pages have been rewritten. Apparently, admittedly, some have not. But again, no worse than what we had before. So this is a call out to the community, because now it is super easy for anyone to go to the page directly that you have experience with, take a look at what is there, give us feedback on how to improve it, check the instructions that are there. Maybe they're wildly out of date. Yeah, and this is a great way that the community can get involved, because the time commitment and the learning we have to do to sometimes check every single thing we put in the docs, it's a little much for a small group to handle. So if we can spread out the work and everybody contributes what they know, then things are great. So yeah, Firebase hosting. Look how short that is. Is that
so easy?
Is that correct? I don't know. You tell me.
We'll say
what
yes.
It's what we had before, so I'm pretty sure it was correct at some point. When was it correct? I don't know. Not worse than what we had before, though. And super easy for you to make a PR to docs, for you to file an issue and tell us what's missing there. So that was our super big achievement, but I think if I have a few more minutes, then I will sort of wrap that into what I'm working on this week, because it perfectly ties in. Nate, if you go to our docs repo, and I merged this while the call started so that we could see it. So just even in the main docs repo, our contributing.md file is new, fresh, not done, no worse than what we had before. So we are trying to make it very easy for people to contribute. We are trying to give examples of how you can contribute. There's issues, there's discussions, there's PRs, and there are a handful of us in Team Docs and in the Internationalization Gang. We have really been fine-tuning some processes, and we're a nice little well-oiled machine right now. So what we're trying to do is document that. So in addition to trying to keep up with all the docs, in addition to trying to make them look good, get the sidebars just the way we want them, we are trying to document what we are actually doing so that anyone feels comfortable to jump in to help. I don't know if I probably have it only as a little note there. I have also done some writing for the tech documentation community at large about Astro's docs and our process and how we work. One thing that I try to make clear when I send my little regular emails out to the community is there are so many ways to help that are helpful, even if you don't think of yourself as a docs person. The deploy pages are a great example. You don't have to be a writer. You don't even have to write it. You just have to look at something. Tell us if it's wrong. Tell us if it could be better. You can suggest style improvements to something. You can research something that we say needs to be written, but we just don't have time to do the legwork. But if you data dump, we can write it up. There's translations, obviously. Brainstorming. I ask a lot of questions in discussions just to try to get ideas so that we can formulate stuff. And in particular, something that's worked really well for us with our translations, we really do highlight that reviewing a PR is essential, especially when there's languages that are not some of our maintainers' native languages. We can approve them, but we can't actually know for sure the language that's in there. So we don't let those translations pass without a review from someone else who speaks the native language. And that has allowed people to contribute. Like, you don't have to translate a page, but if you can just read it through and be like, yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with that. Perfect, now we can merge it. That's all it took. And what I'm really trying to do is extend that to just our regular docs repo. Because there are PRs sitting there. There are issues sitting there that need discussing. There are PRs that need reviewing, sometimes just a second set of eyes. And reviewing is essential to us because of how we work. Someone was surprised to learn that if I fix a typo, if I do a PR to fix a typo, I will not merge that PR until someone else has told me it's good. who knows that I didn't inadvertently make a different typo, or I didn't actually fix the thing I thought I fixed. And this is where we're a little different from a lot of other docs teams. So these reviews are really important, because sometimes we have typo fixes that sit there for a couple days until someone else can say, yeah, it's good. So I just wanted to say to the community at large, jump in our PRs, jump in our issues, because we are so collaborative and participatory, and we enforce it. So, I have had my own PRs sit there that I know I could merge, but I don't, because I'm waiting for the community. So that is my invitation, and it is also my plea, because when the docs are bad, everyone suffers. So those are little things you can do that super help us out. And that's my pitch.
Incredible. I just wanted to say also that like the site is looking so good lately. I feel like Chris and so many other community people have just been making like small little tweaks, but they go such a long way. Like these tips and warnings. Love to see it. I know people were like really adamant that this theme toggle should be up here.
Yeah. and again, the docs site is an Astro site. So yes, we have community members participating in the UI, in the site architecture. I mean, it's all really meta in this project. So if you're looking to get involved and you're not quite sure maybe how to get involved in core, you can always start by digging into the site itself and participating that way. Because some of our maintainers are just never pleased. They're gonna go that extra mile. Nope, I think that header can be just that 5% better. So there's always that kind of stuff going on too.
Thank you so much. This was incredible. The repo is awesome. So much activity going on here in the PRs. Like Sarah said, reviews are always welcome. And just looking at the architecture here is really cool. With all the translations, and that you can, there's like, it's so easy to go update a deploy guide now. If you have, your favorite host, all that work is definitely very, very beneficial. So great to see all that new stuff. Sarah, thank you so much for walking us through this. And this contributor manual looks awesome. Useful for any kind of open source project. So great to see. Awesome. I think, wow, we really ran through that today. I was expecting it to take a lot longer, but that's totally okay. I certainly won't keep anybody here if you want to jump off, but if anybody has anything that they want to share, I can definitely open up the floor to that. Any cool projects happening in the community, or one thing I'll call out is I feel like Showcase Friday last week was like super active. Lots of people building awesome stuff in there. So go back and look through the Showcase channel, because there's some really cool things. This Alchemy Code Lab one was awesome. Seems like these folks worked with a great design agency and just made like a really awesome site with Builder.io and Astro, which is really cool. I don't think I'd seen that before. So this looks like it's a really well designed site. Obviously, many on the Astro team, before we were working on tools to build websites, we were just building websites. So really, really love to see great stuff like this. Web development is so fun, and these are some great sites. So there was that one to call out. There was the new deploy guides. Yeah. Tons of great stuff. I think Chris updated the hackathon website so that we have all the winners here. If you look at that. Lloyd's Astro Snipcart, Astro Auth, Osada, and Pascal's Passel courses. Amazing. Cool. I'm just kind of rambling. Does anybody have anything else? Ben calling out. Thank you. The V3 PR. So if you have not known, the Veet 3 major release is coming. So they are. Ben, do you know where their site is?
Yes,
I know they have like a
moment. It was in. Oh, perfect. There you go.
migration guide.
Yeah, their website wasn't showing the right preview, but here it is. Yes, this isn't too loud. I'm going to switch up again. But this is for migrating from V2. Get ready, y'all. So there isn't a whole lot that y'all have to worry about, hopefully, other than all modules are treated as ESM now, which means that you might need to use no external more often. You know, and you know. But this should mean much faster production builds, especially because they're switching to ES build for all of the common JS parsing. So it should speed up our CI test a lot, for one, and also speed up the builds of large sites that may have relied on some common JS dependencies. So that's a really big one for production build.
Nice.
And the other thing they call out is the HTML dev server. We are still using their legacy mode for that while we work out some changes, but once that's in, that should mean that you don't have to wait any time at all for the dev server to show you information. It already starts up really fast, but now it'll be absolutely. So that's a big old win. And otherwise, it should just be under the hood stuff. I expect issue logs to roll in this week because when they mess with how modules are resolved, things happen. We're trying as many modules as we can to figure out early on which packages we need to patch or which things we need to suggest to V3 for changes. I already have conversations going and issues logged. So as users stumble into things, we will definitely report them. But I'm hoping that V3 will be in at least by tomorrow so that people can check it out over the next couple of days before our RC. So yeah, big, exciting stuff.
Nice. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, like Ben said, hopefully this is a invisible change, but with anything like this, obviously it's a major release for Veet, which we're building on top of. So we're gonna try and get over to that as quickly as we can. We also love to fix things upstream in Veet if we hit a problem. They also do a wonderful job they actually run our test suite to ensure that they're not breaking us, which is really cool. So yeah, there are lots of things here. These are very low level. You likely don't need to worry about this migration guide, but we'll kind of have our own. Any changes that we need to call out, we'll certainly do so. So yeah, thank you, Ben, for taking up this charge and getting us up to date with everything.
Yeah, let's do it. And I also did want to call out a little fun factoid in there. They changed their port to 5173. Astro's still going to be $3,000, but apparently they made it that because it looks like the word Veet.
It does kind of
look like
a
Roman V. The 1 is an I. The 7 is a T. It's awful. But if you see it, if you squint, you can change the port to 5173. I respect that. Astro will be 3,000.
Sure.
There isn't a number that's like Astro.
Can we change ours to A5780?
8-0? Yeah, kind of.
Let's see. 8.
Does that conflict with an
What would it
HMR
be?
port? Actually,
4, 5.
4. Ooh, yeah, 7. 8.
I don't know what R would be.
I guessed with a 9 and then 0.
That does not seem like a valid
That
port.
doesn't seem like a port. We need to
Cool,
introduce
yeah.
port standard.
Yeah,
Just
we
for
are
that.
not doing that, but we're
No.
going to stick with 3000.
Sad.
But that is very silly. I think I like it.
I think I like it. I respect it, but I see it burning so many people who just have localhost 3000 as like just an autocomplete in the browser. Can't use it anymore.
Totally.
That's what you get to do once you're at your 3.0 major release.
Nice. So,
Yes.
yeah, looks like tests are passing. Obviously, there's some more work to do to verify everything here, but this is huge, Ben.
Is big news. Yeah. We'll get that migration tag going.
Nice. This is great. Matthew's taking credit for your work here.
Yeah, he just opened the test. Wow. You can see those commits. People see them.
That's a great move. I'm just going to start opening empty PRs for features I want someone else to build for me.
Perfect.
That
is
is pretty
awesome.
much what I did with Preact Compat. So, I just copy paste some code and then let Nate fix it.
You get credit for that. That was like so deep in the weeds with I am not even sure how I fixed it. I'll be honest. This last commit, like, just there were some very strange some incantation of Vite configuration needed to get everything working. So that's what I'm here for. I think it was this commit. Let me see. Yeah, just like really weird. I don't want anybody to have to figure out why this works or do it for their own project. So glad
we appreciate it. We need a magician or a wizard on the team.
Awesome. This has been really great. Yeah, I want to open the floor up to anybody that we haven't heard from. Feel free to unmute and shout something out or paste it in the chat. We can chat about it for the next couple minutes. Ben is mentioning the style source RFC. Yeah, I'll call that out again. We've got a couple open RFCs here. So definitely take a look at these. Please leave your thoughts so we can start chatting about them next week.
Monitor.
Cool. I will take the silence as nobody has anything to share. Awesome call out. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We can just hang out in the chat. But yeah, Dan, Sarah have been streaming, working on the docs. So Dan's Twitch channel is in there. I believe Ben has a Twitch stream planned. Fuzzy has one tomorrow, and Ben on Thursday.
Tomorrow's one's going to be interesting, I think. I need to get around to planning it, but I have an idea. I haven't ported a next site to Astro, so it should be interesting.
Nice. Always good to do it live for the first time.
Totally. Let's see how frickin' this train wreck goes. I hope to do Astro proud, guys. I promise that, at least.
Nice. That's awesome. We'll definitely check that out. Ooh, Ben. He says there's only 6 people interested in his stream.
10.
10 now. Moments away.
10. Can we get 11 for 11?
Let's just... I'm going to take that back, actually.
Hey, we got it. Okay, stop being interested. No.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's it. You want to hang out for couple minutes, please feel free. Thank you so much for joining us. I will end the official portion of the call here, but this was awesome. Great to see some new faces around. Thank you so much for taking the time. Definitely feel free to hang out, but some people might drop off. I do have to go jump in a lake at some point today.
Thanks for joining us, Nate. This was a fun format.
Do make it out of the lake. Don't get too deep.
I hope the compiler isn't hitting you too hard.
Oh, no. Jump in a lake in a fun way. That's... Yeah, thank you all. Awesome, thanks. Yeah, and anybody that's here, definitely let us know if you like this format. It's a bit more casual, more fun. Feedback definitely welcome as we keep working on this event.